Happy Thursday, everybody. So I decided to do a numerology report today. I know I haven't been doing them daily. It's just a lot going on. But I thought I'd do a check-in because some information came through that I've actually repeated to 3 different people. And I was like, maybe I should share this with a little bit more than 3 people. And it might actually make a lot of sense about what's currently happening in our energy. So this is about halfway through our eclipse cycle. Okay, we entered that eclipse in the 19th into the 20th, and we end the eclipse, like we have the second eclipse on the 6th, and we don't really end the eclipse season until the 14th. So, and Mercury is in retrograde until the 20th, which is also a part of this. So I kind of wanted to go over the numerology and then how it correlates to our eclipse season. Okay, so it is April 27, 2023. In our inner world, we have a 27 that reduces down to a 9. In our outer world, we have a 20 that reduces down to a 2. Okay, so in the 27, if we look at it as a double digit coming to the 9, it's a spiritual partnership, right? It's a partnership that comes together through spirituality, which then gets us to humanitarian energy, which is the 9, compassionate energy, which is the 9. Okay. And under the 27, okay, they say that this energy is really good for starting a business, birthing of something, marriage. Okay. It's the idea of of 2 people coming together under a very high vibrational spiritual energy. Okay. And I'm not just talking about relationships, like romantic relationships. I'm talking about people around us that we have this with that actually comes into some sort of like download or discovery, or the idea of people coming together to have this partnership, which then ends up being a business, but to aid and to help in other people. And what happens is that kind of culminates in that energy today. If that's what happens in today, the positive, like the prosperity and abundance that comes from this spiritual partnership is really, really high under this vibration. Okay. They say things are growing, blossoming, and bearing fruit under this 27. Okay. Which means that also with the 9, we're in the compassion of the 9, the wisdom of the 9. So the wisdom of the 9 aids in the spiritual partnership succeeding, having that abundance come in and have that prosperity come in. Okay. Now you can look at this from all different angles. You could have a spiritual partnership with a person that you start a business with and your business partners. You could meet somebody in a romantic relationship and connect on a spiritual level and do between sorry, I got distracted. And you connect on a spiritual level, you fall in love on a spiritual level, right? And then that partnership also leads into a shared business. Not all the time, or maybe it leads into the contract of a marriage, okay? There's that too, but the 9, the wisdom and the compassion of the 9 help fuel the positivity behind the spiritual partnership, okay? It's very highlighted, okay? But also the vibration, when you put positivity into today, you really can see and start to really travel and really start, like, you've been forming dreams. Now we're actually taking steps where you're actually stepping foot into living the dream. You see it happening. And so in this energy and through this eclipse portal, this 27 halfway through it is pushing you just like the eclipse energy was, but this is like taking you on a journey that's taking you to living that dream. Okay. And the energy that happens today with this spiritual partnership really, really fuels that. Really, really fuels it. And on the outside, we have a 20/2, which the 22 is about being adaptable to change. And so the 22 on the outside is first reminding you of being adaptable to change allows the idea to come into a partnership. come to a compromise, being adaptable to the way things are moving and shifting. And then sometimes when you adapt to change, a partnership comes out of that. Maybe you're like, I got to do this all myself. And then realizing that, if I adapt to changing and bringing on somebody, it's actually going to be better than I thought it was. And I don't have to do this all on my own. So the 20 on the outside, that too is reminding you both of that partnership and the ability to adapt. The 2 is about adaptability, adapting to that change to get to that spiritual partnership. It's just reminding you that you have the ability to be adaptable as you need to stay in the flow and be like, okay, this change is happening, but this is good. I can see the perspective at it and I can adapt to it and I can make it work. You know what I mean? I'm not going to fight against the current. So in this, it's a very divinely guided day. Okay. It's an angel driven day and it's a dream driven day. So what I'm trying to say is that messages are going to come through divine guidance. You may have a energy run in with angel energy today. Archangel Michael is very present, very protective, and is protecting, putting a lot of protection in today's energy, especially. I know because he came into my energy this morning that he's here protecting whatever spiritual partnership comes out of today, protecting it. Like it's in a protection, and that protection helps it succeed. Okay. And with all that, right? So that's the kind of day, it's a high vibrational day, but halfway through our eclipse season, this is what I want to say about this. Okay. So last year, okay, my daughter, most of you know who watch this, but maybe some of you don't, okay? My daughter had a heart transplant last year on Friday the 13th, May 13th, Friday the 13th. And I, as a number person, I was like, spot on, spot on, okay? So, and it happened to be the last day of eclipse season last year. And I believe we had a lunar eclipse on that day. I could be wrong. I'd have to go back and check. But I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And so that was the end of the eclipse season. So let me explain, okay? Last year at the beginning of eclipse season, and in this very week, we got a phone call that there was a heart had come in, okay? So we go to the hospital to start this procedure, and they told us this could happen, but they came back and told us that it wasn't the right heart. Okay. Disappointing. Yes. But knowing that the right heart is the right way to go is way more like way to look at it. But that was the beginning of the eclipse season. And then the eclipse portal is so strong. It's kind of like a shortcut, and you can like, there are navigations through that shortcut. Like I described it to a bunch of people, like it's like you're on an asteroid belt and you're trying to duck and dodge the asteroids coming at you through this shortcut. You gotta get through some turbulation to get through the shortcut. But once you get through the portal, now you're into a new timeline. And so at the end of that eclipse season last year, that eclipse portal, Lucy got her heart. So if we look at it from that perspective, we can understand how powerful this eclipse portal energy is, and how much, even though Mercury retrograde is happening within it, all the Mercury retrograde is doing, if we look at it from this perspective, there may be delays in traveling electronics, but if we really look at it, instead of looking at it like, oh, Mercury retrograde, we can look at it as a time to understand that we are in this portal. The energy is moving, the energy is putting us through this like fast track portal so that we can get to this other side, but to remain calm and slow in that, just like Mercury is right now. Just slowing down our energy as we navigate and guide through an energy that's moving us forward. And remaining still and trying to remain as calm and as fluent as possibly can. I know it's not going to happen all the time, but the retrograde is trying to aid you in getting through this eclipse portal, which is yours for the taking. And like I said, look at what happened. Look at that scenario. That's powerful. What can happen on the other side of this eclipse portal. So that's just something that I really wanted to share with you guys today. I felt drawn to do it today. And I hope that it helps you understand where you are inside of this energy of your journey. And understand that, like, maybe things have been crazy, a lot of ducking and dodging, man, like dodgeball, a lot of ducking and diving. And maybe some of you are not. Maybe some of you are just flowing through this asteroid belt because you got this. You know what I mean? And some of us may have gotten hit in the head with an asteroid, possibly. So But we're still flying. We're still getting through it. We're still going through the portal. We're not turning back. But know that that's, part of the energy that's happening and is probably having quite an effect. And we also have solar flares happening. There's a lot of energy. It's very high vibrational. And again, we are in 11 month. So you feeling this makes sense. The 11 is a very I don't want to say nervous energy, but really flickering energy. You know what I mean? It's because it's so high vibrational. It's ooh, it's like buzzing. And so when that happens, it can get kind of overwhelming as well. So, that is kind of where you are in this midpoint, but know that as we get to the end of this eclipse season, things are going to be, they're morphing and changing, and you're going to realize that, you're in a new timeline. And when you realize that, you're going to be oh, I see what happened. You know what I mean? But just know that's what's happening. Well, that's my perspective on it anyway. That's my opinion, my perspective, and how I see how it is. So I really hope this was helpful. I hope it helps you guide you through the next week or so until we get to that intense lunar eclipse in Scorpio. We have this Aries driven new moon, new intentions, new, and we get halfway through into this full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, the moon of transformation as we come out of our eclipse season. That's some heavy shit, so to know that that's what's coming, and to know that we at the end we get transformation into a new timeline. So I hope you guys have an amazing Thursday, and I'll see you soon. Bye.